Hey guys, how's it going? Cool, we're back again, and today we've got an Overwatch 2 VOD submitted once again by Avian. Thank you. And for this one, you might notice already this is a YouTube video. It's not Overwatch 2. It's the game hasn't been released yet, so we're kind of limited with my spectator ability, which means I won't be able to as clearly explain the things I want to explain and point out my ideas. But I do have some other tools that will help illustrate those points. But yeah, just working with what we've got. In terms of this game is a 3.5, 3.7 scrim. So most of these players probably hover around a 3.2, 3.3 average, but because you're in a team environment, that boosts up your overall rank. That's just, I guess, the team factor. And in terms of the overall topic of this one, because we're focused on Avian, it's going to be directed at Avian. And I guess because okay, so here's the thing. We have context here because we are, to give some context, we do have comms involved. We'll hear a lot of what Lex has to say because he seems to be the in-game leader. But we'll have a lot of insight into what their strategy is, how they're calming. That's pretty much it, all the team aspect stuff, but focusing on Avian and what Avian's supposed to do according to those calls and according to the strategy laid out. All right. So that's pretty much the entire goal here. And yeah, let's just listen to the comms here. So Avian doesn't have his comms, just a disclaimer. So there will be some dead silence moments, but
Flix can play Widow really well.
We'll go with it.
But what does that entail if we get Chris on Widow? We need to be in their face, right? Okay, so Chris plays Widow, we give him space, we don't force them into rooms. We force them into a room, we back off, because then they can't get
smart.
Strength. So you play ball, what supports do you want? Or do you want something helping the Widow? No. Or do you want the Zen to help with the dive? Maybe. Go Zen Ana, Widow, and then I can go Sojourn or Tracer. Well, I need something to help Chris not get dove. If they're playing Rush, is that going to help Chris not get dove? I don't know.
So you've basically...
Like, it's between, like, Genji and Sojourn. I think Sojourn...
Flick seems to be your carry hero here.
Sojourn's like a pseudo... Yeah, pseudo Tracer.
I don't agree with that take, actually.
So, like, now you play Widow here, Chris.
Okay.
This is... if you go Coast, you can just, like, pop off on Widow, I think.
Alright, so let's try and visualize that better. I know this is not the Shock versus Fuel. This is some other team versus some other team that I don't know of. You might be able to comment down below what that is if you either way. So your team is going to be spawning here, and the goal or the strategy is your team is going to go over here, rotate over to statue, and that way you can set up your Widow, your Ana, your Zen, and your Sojourn for better success, because this is like, you know, in chess with a bishop or a queen or rook, they're able to go into an entire lane and block that lane so that any of the enemy pieces that goes into one of those squares are being threatened, right? So that's pretty much what this positioning does, because you have sight lines for this space here. You have sight lines for this entire space here. You have sight lines going to the point. You've got, if you rotate, you have sight lines going here. So like you have access to the whole central area of the map. So that's where you're going to be positioning. Actually recognizing that, you can actually pre-scout, and we can assume that the enemy team is going to go here at some point. Some of them. They might have a ball and a tracer going through this building in the mega, or they might have a rush comp, and they could try and split up here a little bit, and they might go here and just rush down your support. So there might be some variances, but if they do not take the space, they're going to be at a severe positioning disadvantage. Okay, so we can kind of assume some enemies are going through here. How they get there, I don't know, but we can assume that they're all wanting to vie for the space, because, like, again, good high grounds, you have easy sight lines, and then you've got access to this tunnel very easily. All right, now in terms of what you're supposed to do on Wrecking Ball, what you want to do is you need to figure out your setup spots. And to me, the two clear ones are going to be here, and they're going to be inside this tunnel, because it's like a wall, window, wall type scenario. So you can hide behind one of these walls and use your third-person perspective to still scout, and you're in a good area. I'll mark it with yellow so that you can boop the enemy team back, or you can try and boop them off the map. So you have different ways of approaching this fight. You are defensive in this case. You don't really have like a great grapple angle to give a slam. Maybe if you jump out the window and then you slam somewhere over here. There's a lot of yellow going on. The other position is going to be here. And this is a great position because you are completely hidden from the team. You're not approaching from the front, so you can actually approach from the back here, or you can loop around from the side. This is a far superior positioning than the stairs, because as soon as the enemy team crosses this corner, they're going to see you as they look to their right. If they don't, then that's not a good wow, that's not a good scrim team. Tripping over my words here. So don't go. This is bad. More green. No, bad. I need red. Bad. Don't go there. Okay. And how you would get to these positions, well, first you can go with your team and then you get set up into one of these positions here. The other way how you get to this spot is you would roll out from the left side, go through mega, and you can loop around, something like that. Or you can by scouting, if you see the entire enemy team go through this area, you can initially go down through the main and just roll here, but that's kind of a gamble. So just figuring out your routes might be a little bit of the tricky part, because you might get stopped at this area by a tracer, for instance. And so in that case, you probably need to grapple out. Lots of arrows going on. But how you route there is going to be a little bit of your intuition, but these are the two best setup spots in my mind. Win cons, what you're supposed to do. So you have a widow, so you're trying to create space for your widowmakers, and possibly this is going to be the best move so that you can always boop whoever's going to be rush or some sort of dive, Winston, maybe even wrecking ball, so you can always boop them back or threaten boop them off the map potentially. So those are this is probably your best setup actually with this team comp. Yeah, so set up your, I guess the other positions your teammates could play is in this window, and that would be something maybe later in the game, but sticking together is probably more beneficiary or more beneficial because of the fact you don't have a great peel. So yeah, I would prefer a tracer in this comp than the Sojourn, and the Sojourn is not a pseudo tracer. Not, because Sojourn has a way to get out, but she doesn't want to stay in fight. She's like a soldier in that case, or a Cassidy. They don't want to be part of the fight, but they have a way to get out. Tracer needs to be in because obviously she's close range, and also has ways to get out.
We'll try it at least.
And actually can follow around with ball. So I think instead of wrecking ball, Winston should be better, or Winston would be better.
We should play it. If they're playing rush, we get them to go. They go right, and you
Okay.
stab him quickly.
So yeah, stairs. You can see how awkward it is because you're just like, oh, I got scouted. Where do I go? I guess same spot. I'm taking some poke damage.
No, I'm not with you. Kill the monkey. Monkey half.
I know why you did that.
Get at him. Make sure. Oh,
Yeah, and you die for it. I know why you did that. You heard one of your teammates just say mercy half. That does not give you the green light to open up your guns, because you have to respect what the enemy has. If they have an Ana that can sleep you, you need to respect that. And I know it's like Overwatch 2 less CC, but there's still CC in the game, and if that sleep lands, it's like almost a guaranteed kill every single time. So do not open up your guns. The only times you open up your guns is when you're far distances where you have some sort of cover, so that you can avoid the range, or you can have that time to evade it, right? Duck behind cover or something like that as the sleep dart is coming on through, or even like flashbang if that was still in the game. That way you're far enough away that he can't flash you. So that's one way, playing from a range. The only other time is when you're dueling. Those are the two times.
Dying.
Yeah. And I think at this point you go Winston, right?
I just can't push up as far. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Like if we lose you two,
Yeah. Because Winston's better.
So
I just want to make clear why, like, Overwatch 2 actually really hurt Wrecking Ball because now he's more of a specialist hero and requires certain things like a Tracer to help out on the dive, because Wrecking Ball, all he can really do is just grapple, and like you see Fate do this all the time. That's all they can really do because they can't hold space. That's their only way of holding space and controlling a certain area. So like the enemy backline, I'll make it the right color. So the enemy backline's here. And so what you're doing, or what you see a lot of the time in the pros is like, oops, that's wrong. They will just like go back and forth so that they deny the enemies. They might even hit them. So like that's pretty much the only way Wrecking Ball can find value, especially with your team comp. But with a Tracer, you're able to slam up or grapple up, slam down, and that way you could set it up for your Tracer with a Discord to maybe kill one of these squishies. So that would be the ideal with Ball. But Winston is more individualistic because with the supports here, you can actually just leap on in, place a bubble, and now you don't have to worry about those guys anymore. If those supports end up walking forward, that's when you can capitalize off of them because they're overextending. And that's where a dive would be better, like Tracer or like a Genji instead of Sojourn. I want to make that clear. So that's why Winston's better, is because he can actually control space way better and is more independent because of that case, or requires less help because of that case.
I'm gonna break bubble for you right now.
He's one.
Nice.
And your Widow actually just pops
Mercy
off.
half.
Claims Diana, gets
There's
rezzed,
a Mercy behind that statue.
Right side anti.
Alright,
Right side anti.
and then claims the Winston as he's exiting, and then the Tracer with the Venom Mine.
On the back line.
And all right,
That's alright.
that's
Then we just push
something to
back.
point out.
See how
No,
like,
no,
we
no,
play
big
it
deal.
methodically with the game plan and we just win. Like we don't
Yep.
let them play on their terms. You gotta be assertive, Tim. Don't ever go blank.
So you have to be careful here.
No.
No, wait, yeah.
But this is where the push rules come into play, and this is not ranked, this is Scrim, so you have the ability to change this. Future reference. Because your Ana is dead at this point, right? Your Ana's dead. You need to have everyone peel back so you don't get any further staggers. All the enemies are dead at this point, right? The Sojourn was the last person. Everyone was cleaned up. So they're going to be waiting for them to respawn potentially a little bit. And so what you probably should be doing is pushing the bot and let everyone else kind of peel back. The Sojourn could push because she has mobility, but Winston is a tank, has, you know, the mobility. You're not really going to push forward to control space early like a Reinhardt would. And that's kind of how I view Winston, is someone who can hold a corner as well as Reinhardt, but also have the mobility to get out when he's in danger. That's how I view Winston. So you're not doing that in this case because your team is down and you need to push the robot. So it's probably your job. Your Widowmaker can still be involved and your Sojourns can still be involved to maybe get a pick. But yeah, have this hierarchy or something of that sort. Get it all figured out who's pushing the robot in these situations.
Let them play on their terms. You gotta be assertive, Tim. Don't
Does
ever go blank.
any further stagger, like you're down your Ana, that's your main source healer. Any further stagger reduces your chance of controlling the robot one more and increases their odds of getting more progress.
Just going behind. Yeah, going train.
So yeah, good push, but your teammates should be far
Should
back.
be
Your
close, should be
Zen
close.
especially.
Monkey's alone. Press the half.
It's too
That's
on
alright.
me.
Yeah, that's alright.
Yeah,
Monkey
behind you,
needs to die. I'm dead. I need help.
I'm on your Zane right now.
All right,
I need help.
kind of committed. Your team's dead, so stall the payload as much as possible.
Mercy one. Oh, the fucking ego jump is so stupid.
Maybe get that kill. That's all good.
I seen go close though.
But now you lose a fight when you didn't have to, right? So like, your team could have pushed the robot here. Yes, you would get less progress than something like this where you have it now, right? So you get less progress. But if you regroup with your team, then you can fight and still have that progress. If you win, well, now you even get more, potentially get this cap, right? Now that, so you got the robot up to here, your team died. Now it's the enemy's turn and they're just going to start getting progress. That's the difference. You got a little bit more progress, but now they're going to start taking progress. and it's going to take a little bit longer because you guys have to fully regroup from spawn. So they might actually exceed you in this point. At this point,
We like didn't focus forward enough.
almost 5 ults.
Like even if you're missing healer, you gotta stack together.
Yeah.
I'm dead here
This
actually.
just ended up being a bad spot. Because this is-
Yep.
map is big
Monkey
on
half, monkey half.
position.
Should die. Should die. Don't let me get though. Nice. Help you, Widow.
Good shot from your Widow. Wow.
We got
Who is that?
Mm,
is in my
probably
house?
shouldn't be chasing that trace.
Yeah.
You actually should have been on the spot a little bit earlier.
Monkey, I'll get the Ana.
All right, let's before we continue further, this is something that my coach, you know, I'm learning Baptiste in my scrims, and one of the most powerful questions he ever asked was that a good use of regenerative burst? And it's like one of those, like, well, shouldn't I use it all the time type thing? Should I use it on cooldown? And no, there's actually like a prime. You know, I was playing Moira too when we're playing 6-man. It's like, was that a good use of your orb? I'm like, I guess not, right? So the question I have for you is, was that a good use of your bubble? Your bubble is placed just slightly below here at this point, right? Something like that. Because you put your bubble here, the Ana can still be effective during this time. Yes, she's running away because you are a damage threat, but she's still impactful in this fight. So what the better placement of the bubble, and it's the easy fix, the better placement of this bubble is here. You already know this. You use the bubble, you block the line of sight of the Ana. If the Ana wants to actually heal the Winston, then she needs to commit forward. The Ana would have to push past the bubble, making her a vulnerable target because she doesn't have the resources to escape herself, so she's overextending. Pretty simple. So just keep that in mind. Was that a good bubble? And especially if you're VOD reviewing yourself, just those simple questions of, was that actually a good use of leap? You mismanaged your leap, you overleapt in this case. So maybe practice your mechanics a little bit more. So it'll give you, if things become a trend that you notice, those are things you need to work on.
I'll get the Ana.
So far, none of that has happened.
You can go trace it, Chris.
Okay, miss a sleep. Imagine if she got the sleep.
Currently haven't did her.
Okay, no Ana on the enemy side, but you also have no resources yourself. Do you need to use Primal?
So fucking
Oh. So what's the gamble here? So you didn't use Primal and you find yourself in this case. Your team is completely staggered. They have no supports currently. So that's good. I think as soon as the Ana dies, you should be looking to stall the payload as much as possible, knowing that you have respawns on the way, and you can definitely stall that out. Okay? That would be the small thing I would say. Yeah, in that case, you'd probably use your Primal. And then your Widow gets a pick later. So that would have been like a, yes, that was a good decision. That would have affirmed your decision in using Primal. And I mean, it's not like it's going to kill everything. It's not like a blade. It's Primal, and it's used to stall more than anything. And then you've got Zen Transcendence for any of those big time ultimates.
Mercy.
Or if he's low, whatever.
John, Chris, I'm gonna swap the tracer.
Good, you got Tracer now. Follow up on your dives. Yeah, and now they just
We
capped.
should be giving him the space. Like he just gets away.
They just capped.
Every time. I'm gonna die here.
Go up on you, man.
Discord her?
So maybe that Primal would have stopped them from getting that cap, but
Yeah.
now
That
the
is
enemy
not
team's
real.
just
Just start as
staggering.
well. I'm with you, Tim.
And I'll just put this in the back of your team's mind, and at least your mind is, after the enemy team gets cap here, they need a hard retreat. There's an animation that takes like 10 seconds. You call it the butt scratch animation. And so for 10 seconds, you literally can't push the bot. Noticing that the enemy, or like what the enemy team should have thought about is, now that they got the point, they're not going to get any further progress. They should either feed. They should either feed in order to die faster and regroup with their team, or they should oh, what's it? My mind just blanked. Or they should fully retreat here. And that way they can preserve their life. But they just ended up feeding. So you can't, a late stagger
Kill the Mercy,
can
Mercy,
mean
Mercy, Mercy.
everything here. And your team actually does a really great at capitalizing off it. All right, Primal used here.
I don't know.
They have no backline.
Go left or right.
Can he live? Nice. If you watch my how to play push, I think I mentioned a brief segment where the more progress you get, right, is going to be more beneficial. That's why you should have a tracer, trying to get the maximum amount of push as you can. And then she's a good hero because that way she could always escape with her life without feeding. That's during those times like, what is it? That one fight when they just started getting progress where your Ana died. That's one of those times where like a tracer would have been really good because of that fact, getting that extra bit of push without sacrificing their life. And now with this 20 meters, you saw like at the HUD, we can actually kind of just like completely focus on it.
Free every time. I'm gonna die here. I'm with you, Tim.
Look how
Kill the
fast
Mercy,
that
Mercy,
robot
Mercy, Mercy.
moves.
You're gonna LS it.
So freaking fast. And it's in about like 2 seconds, it's about to start gaining extra progress.
Flicks.
Yeah.
I'm on Sojo.
And your team has no support.
I'm dead.
Yo,
Thank you.
And collect the extra stagger picks. Huge, huge.
We need to take this space. Nice.
Trade kills are so important.
Who do we dive? Tim, who are we diving? Mercy, Anna. Yeah?
They're so important because it's like control. It's like any slight advantage like can further increase. How should I phrase this? It's actually like, so like control, there's always this time pressure, but you still need to understand that like despite the time pressure, if you fight down one, down a man or two, whatever it may be, and you are down resources, you can't really fight that fight. So you need to either fully commit with your entire team, or you need to get out and wait until you have a fair shot. And so in this game mode, you're like, it's you can see the enemy team, it's 57 meters until they got their checkpoint. So you can estimate that there's about 17 seconds before the robot actually reaches the checkpoint, roughly. I don't think it's exactly 1 second to 1 meter correlation, but something along those lines. So they have enough time to actually wait here. I like how I'm bringing this like double perspective. I'm coaching the enemy team as well.
You guys pull your target.
I have recall out. There you go, my
Two
recall out. Mercy
different
half.
points.
He's got a pulse.
Big.
All right, I'm going to ask you that same question again. Was that a good bubble? So recognize two things here. One, whoa, oh my goodness. Tracer. Why do you like Tracer? Tracer can help you in the dive. So when you eventually, if I can cancel anything, when you eventually get here and you place your bubble, your Tracer isn't able to support you, which means there's no way you're going to kill either of these guys because they're outside your, there's just no way you're going to kill them. Okay, so that was indicator number one. Number two is the fight is actually relatively close. All enemies are all near each other, like they're all ready to pounce. So using your bubble now did find a lot of value. You can't kill anything, and you're not blocking anything as the enemy team dives.
Recall out. There you go, my
Because a
recall out.
better use of your bubble would have been
He's got a pulse.
right about here. That way you would have blocked the line of sight from the Ana, and maybe, who knows, killed the monkey.
Big.
We need to dive him. Dive the Ana card. On the point. Oh, stack Ana. Kill Mercy.
Good kill by
That's
Lex.
Disco monkey.
That's insane that a tank could just isolate two people.
Search on Discord.
Yeah, that's how impactful bubble is. Like you completely isolate two people, and then you kill the so like you isolated 2 people for 1, which is you, a tank. Your Tracer got the stick onto the Ana, so basically they had no supports. Their Tracer and their Winston didn't have any supports, and then you clean them up. That's how impactful Bubble is.
Okay, nice.
That was a good
We
use
have
of
Nano Monkey
Bubble.
Next fight. But we don't Nano Monkey until we have a guaranteed hit on the supports, okay? Like, Tim, you need to line that up.
Cool.
Tracer there?
You have to
Okay,
tell me exactly.
What
where
a
to go,
pick.
okay?
This guy's
nice.
insane.
Right, Tracer, don't die here. We killed the Ana again. Am I Mercy? Oh, I got one shot.
Maybe be a little more assertive there.
Kill Sojourn.
You killed the Ana, you could probably just dive in right away.
We gotta keep that in mind. Nano Monkey.
At this point, just stall. Alright, Nano, can you get any kills? Oh, you have Force Out Primal. Not bad. Kill the Ana?
Give
No.
sleep.
Come on.
I'm done. In the 7th.
Oh, man. That sucks.
Alright.
If you come out mid, I got OP, man.
Yeah. Just go whoever jumps you.
Okay, your team should be
Yeah.
fully backing out here now that they don't have a tank. There's still 4 minutes, so you aren't really at a time
Yeah,
pressure
sure.
necessarily. You have Primal.
Don't have LS on you. I'm gonna need your orb in a sec. I got orb on you.
Thanks. Just go Monkey.
I would be all tracking, but
She's one.
it's a little bit hard.
Go lift it.
Again, your DPS just
Nice,
open
Chris.
it up.
Ana still. Just go Monkey. Everyone Monkey.
Yeah, that fight was over before it started.
Nice. This
Your
shit.
DPS just popped.
Good shit, Chris. Yeah.
Very
That's what I mean. Just like having a permanent aimbot sentry turret.
You need to be pushing far forward. You need to go up these stairs right now, and you need to control the space. Your Tracer would be there with you so that any further staggers, I don't know who died first exactly, but maybe you could go for another stagger kill. Who should be pushing? It's either Zen or it's going to be Ana, one of those two. Maybe they stick together, but you should be creating this like frontline presence. Let's bring it up here. So you're pushing the robot. He needs to get up to this destination. During the span, your Ana or your Zen should be doing that. Meanwhile, you have your, let's mark it in green. Your Widow or your Sojourn could look for other kills. They could be also positioned here. One of those 3, doesn't really matter. And then you, oh no, you don't have Sojourn. Never mind. Your Tracer and you should be here and here, or be a little bit crazy and go in here and here and look for a potential dive. And that's what you need to do. Control the space. Because if you don't do that and you're pushing cart like you are, that means the enemy team can just freely walk and take the space. And now technically this area here is all enemy territory. Whereas before, if you were to control that space, I'll mark it in blue, then this entire area, this entire area would be all yours, everything behind you. And you just create this barrier, so to speak. Keep a lookout for that. Your Winston, in my mind, and even in Overwatch 1, is like you're a Reinhardt, but you have the ability to escape whenever you want.
Valk, it just doesn't matter.
Or you go in and try and fight a backliner and isolate them. So he has that dual
Honestly,
aspect, but at least for attacking
So,
and as a Reinhardt type of
just wait
type
up.
of playstyle.
If they come here, we have to die. Okay, I'll keep tracing check. Just got it.
That's right.
No,
On your honor.
you shouldn't be diving the Mercy.
There's no recall.
She's half
Just
one.
in here.
Yeah, she just flies away. Oh,
Heals.
clutch. Got that Mercy. That's at least 1 guaranteed stagger.
I just have to lead it by the road.
Yeah.
Just up here.
Got the Tracer.
Hit me. Hit me.
I'm drone. I'm gonna monkey in the way.
Sojourn, she's come up to Ana.
Oh, the Sojourn.
Nice. Monkey on me.
What are they doing?
Go point team. Ana there. Ana on point. Half. No sleep.
Ana stagger? No, she got healed
Get back,
and
get back.
bubbled.
I stuck Monkey.
Push forward, nice.
Chase supports.
Like this. What was that?
There's
Anyway,
a
I just fed him support ults.
Good attempt. Good attempt.
Messi.
DPS starting
Let's
off
go.
the fight
What a-
again. Oh my.
Monkey me. Monkey off, monkey off, monkey off.
They're just down, so you can easily clean it up.
He is
Okay, they have
already- yeah, holy
primal.
shit.
Nice.
Maybe a little bit of tunnel
got-
visioning
Monkey
there.
anted. Monkey low.
Push cards in.
Go to the right flex.
Sojourn,
Ah, you
Sojourn
can
on
still
the right.
push this. You didn't lose a member
Keep pushing, keep pushing.
an entire
Nice,
time.
nice, yeah, team.
Nice. I can nanny you, Evan.
Mercy half. I'm gonna get
Messi one.
What are they doing?
Do you have jump, Matthew? For when you want
I would jump again on that Sojourn just
you
after she used her dodge.
You gotta dodge Sojourn for me.
Your team.
Oh, I fucked up Paul.
So that's something you should have probably capitalized off of. You killed the Mercy, and disregarding Plix again, getting another kill onto the supports. After killing the Mercy, you go after the Sojourn. She just used her escape ability. You go after her. You are full HP. You have all the reason why to go and get that kill and secure it. Your team is all behind you, right? Like we just saw. Maybe it's a little bit further, but your okay, maybe it's just a brief flash. But your Zen and your Ana are actually, you're past this threshold where your team is all around you and can support you. This is the final stretch. Go after that
Go
kill.
Sojourn. I'm going Sojourn.
But now it's a little too late. Got the leap.
Keep chasing. Kill the Messi. She's one, she's half,
Oof.
You got it.
Yeah, unfortunately, damage beam. Oh, okay. I guess
Just run.
doesn't need to reload. I guess the damage beam and a mercy
Look at that. You're down
Or,
to
um,
two, number
and a railgun does one shot tracer,
Winnable,
body
winnable.
shot. I think that's what they're utilizing there. Couldn't stop the
We
res.
have to stack for last fight.
Okay, you're just stalling.
Yeah.
Sojourn kill?
This just came online.
No! Dang
I
it,
was
dude.
now.
That's twice now. Twice you could have got another kill.
You suck, Olive. You're so bad. Just slit your wrist.
Can we go right? Can we go right side?
He's a gamer. Competitive gamer.
Coming back.
Oh, this is really bad. We have no ults. Like,
Can we go right side or not?
It's not really bad. You know why? In order to match you, they need to more than double their distance. This is not bad. You could take a dry fight, and what your team is looking for is stagger picks, or trade picks, I should say. Trade picks. Go for the support. Ana is going to be the easiest person you can kill. And I mean, it kind of follows the rule of two because they have Mercy. So if you are going for Ana, hopefully someone else picks up a Sojourn or something of that sort. But if you can get one kill, you're golden, right? Like that person now has to spawn way back over there, right? Like their spawn is going to have to be from, they're going to have to spawn from here and then waddle their way back to the fight. So much time, 10 seconds to respawn, about 15, maybe 20 seconds to get back to the fight, depending on how much progress they make, right? So every trade kills matters. Yes, they have Mercy. Doesn't make her the target priority because she's just going to evade and fly away like we just saw when you tried to dive her. There's no point. Absolutely no point. So, and if they res, they res. So that's why you're kind of hoping that someone else steps up a little bit and gets a kill.
Like side of the game. Side.
Unless the Mercy
Wait,
is
stop.
like actually 1
Kill
HP
someone?
or half HP, you can maybe try and kill her.
Oh, kill yourself.
One shot, body shot, yeah.
now.
Any trade
Why
kills?
we leaving,
Nice. Got the monkey.
Get off.
Sojourn and Mercy left side. Oh, Trace is still here, no recall.
Can you get out?
Wait. We need to like jump card.
Nice.
Card or something.
Okay. Final fight. 23 seconds. They still need to get 60 meters roughly.
Oh my god. No. Okay. Just stack ults. We need ults.
No!
Ults. That's what we need.
Oh no.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Lex is kind of panicking a little bit and feeding.
Okay. If you die, we lose.
Okay.
To Yana. Alright.
Okay.
Care flank. Wait
Dive.
5 seconds. 3.
They use nade.
1 now. Mercy.
No,
Yana.
Ana.
Go Trace,
Ana.
go flank something.
No. And that's exactly why
Yeah,
you don't
right now.
poke as a Mercy.
Get back. We nearly have Noon next fight. Just
Look how evasive she is.
1 now. Mercy. Let's go now.
Both traces, both flankers on me. Yeah, they have out of healing right
So you have to take into account that when you do dive and try and focus on Mercy, you have the other support who's trying to heal the Mercy, as well as like the Mercy, or what is it? The Mercy is so evasive that you're going to miss half your shots. So there's no way you're going to be able to kill them. That's why you focus Iana, because Iana can't really move away. These dogs are a little bit annoying right now. Hopefully you can't hear it. But if you focus Iana, she can't escape from it. She just used nade, so she can't bio-nade herself. Go after the Iana. You get the kill, and then hopefully you deny the res by one way or another. Times out, or you get the kill onto Mercy. Something to that effect. But trying to kill that Mercy, it's really, really tough. Unless she's the solo support, it's really tough.
now.
Get back. We nearly have no next fight. Just live Rex.
Good thing for you, they used a couple ults. Now you're coming up with almost 5 ults.
Just do a touch. Can we touch? Anyone?
So this guy doesn't know. Like, you can actually be pretty patient here. At this point, like, what's your spawn?
Touch. Can we touch? Anyone?
Okay, so you have 4 seconds until you respawn, 2 seconds until Lex spawns. How much time do you actually have? Well, 112 minus 98, that's around 14 seconds. You have 14 seconds. You have nothing to be worrying, really. Like, you might just need a tracer to touch to at least stall it out enough, but yeah, don't need to panic too much. Huge sleep, actually.
I'm going for
Go
it.
sleep.
I can touch. I can
I can
touch.
touch. Mercy half. Mercy half.
Okay.
Go on a one.
Yeah, she is.
I'm
Huge
dipping.
kill.
Mercy half. Good anti.
Sorry.
One.
Huge kills.
Good heals.
Both supports gone. Your team has spawn advantage. They don't. You have primal.
Monkey half. Do not see that team. I'm dead.
Uranus coming back with nano. Just keep on.
You have primal. That's huge.
Do not see that. Me, Nanny monkey.
Wow. Yeah. Ults came up just in time.
Monkey.
Oh.
Monkey.
Monkey Discord. Tracer Discord.
Nice, Chris.
There's Mercy.
Kill the slide. Dumb fucking
See
whore.
Mercy.
Get beat like 2 rounds.
Nice.
Just okay. Like we should have won that way easier if we just stacked ults instead of getting way greedy for no reason.
Well, I don't know if I can really agree with that because I don't think
Monkey.
you guys had any ults. 'Cause that would have been like 2 fights ago. Something like that. Yeah, you used all your ults trying to kill some picks, and that was like when I was saying you should have dove the Sojourn. Either way, you guys came up with the win, and I can really sum it up that, you know, the best thing you can learn in this game, especially as a scrim team, pass the messages along, really focus on regrouping, resetting, and maximizing your push while minimizing your risks. That's kind of my key takeaway for you. All right. In terms of simple positioning, you know, it's dependent on heroes. Be a little more in tune with how you use your abilities. I think, you know, it's just, you know, really get it down pat so that you're not making some of those micro mistakes, right? So other than that, that's all I have. So hope you guys enjoyed. If you want to submit any VODs, you could do so. There's a Discord link that you can go check out, and there will be a channel where you can submit your VODs. I don't think I'll do any more Overwatch 1 VODs, but when Overwatch 2 comes out, best believe I'll come back. But yeah, that's all I have. Stay lucky. Wait, that's my old outro. Peace out. Yeah, I think that's how it works. See ya.